Let me show you the absolute craziest flight I have ever been on. This isn't even sponsored. This wasn't a free flight. I paid for all of this. The day started in London, where I had a 45-minute connecting flight to Paris, but we were so delayed that I honestly thought I wasn't going to make this next flight. I was also sad because it meant I wasn't going to be able to experience this Air France first class lounge that everyone was talking about. But a flight attendant told me because of the ticket that I had booked, someone was going to be waiting for me when the plane landed, and they were going to take me in a car through customs and then to the next plane. But that sadly did not happen because apparently there was a last-minute gate change. So I had to sprint through the airport to the next flight. If you didn't know, the Paris airport is impossibly hard to navigate sometimes. But I made it right as the doors were closing, and when I got to the seat, I forgot all about running through the airport because what is this seat? Someone also then came up to me and started profusely apologizing for not being able to pick me up in the car and take me to the plane, and I was like, girl, it is okay. I was gagged that was even a thing, and I was just so grateful that I had made it to the flight at this point. Anything that you wanted to do with this seat would be controlled through this iPad. There were also no overhead bins, and there were only 4 seats like this on this whole plane. I know you might be wondering, if there are no overhead bins, where do you put your stuff? But they have these little storage bins that are right next to the little day bed that they have. But when one of my bags didn't fit in that little storage area, one of the flight attendants was like, don't worry, I got it, and they took it somewhere else and stored it for me. The entire vibe of these flight attendants was that they were going to do whatever they needed to accommodate me, which was crazy. There were also 2 flight attendants dedicated to the 4 people in that cabin. So if you needed anything, they were going to be there very quickly. And one of them asked me right when I boarded how I wanted to organize my flight, and what he meant by that was when I wanted to eat, so when they would set up my table for me, or when I wanted to sleep, when they would make the bed for me. I think I just kind of like stared at him for a second because I didn't know how to answer that question, but I ultimately decided that I needed to sleep first because I had gotten like 4 hours of sleep the night before. So I put on the designer pajamas that they gave me, and when I got back to my seat, there was caviar waiting for me there, which, mind you, I'm not like a caviar eater. I don't even know what it's supposed to taste like, but I will say it tasted good. I mean, clearly I ate literally every single tiny caviar egg that I could have found. And then the flight attendants closed the full floor-length curtain, and I truly felt like I was in my own little suite in the sky, especially once they made the bed, which I had been on flights where the seats turned into beds before, but I had never been on one that had a separate bed from the seat that you were originally sitting in. And oh my god, I have never slept that well on a plane ever in my life, and I don't think I ever will again. They put this like 2-inch thick mattress topper on top of that day bed, and it also extends out to like a full 7 feet long, so you were getting good sleep up there. I think I took a nap that lasted like 3 full hours, but then I made myself get up so I wouldn't be too jet lagged, and it was finally time to eat. I don't mean to be dramatic, but this butter that they gave me to put on the bread was maybe the best butter I have ever had in my life. And then I ordered beef for the main course, which I was a little skeptical about because of the way that it looked, but it tasted great, and the flight attendant who was serving me said she hadn't been trained in the plating of the food yet, and I was like, oh babe, it's fine. I'm just very happy to be here. Also, that dessert bar was incredible. And when I was done eating, I wanted to move back to the daybed, so I switched TVs, which I don't think I've mentioned yet, that they had 2 full TVs in this little suite. So if you were sitting in the chair, you could watch TV, but also if you were on the daybed, you could watch TV. And you could put the flight map on the iPad, which was huge for me because I love watching the flight map during a flight. I decided to watch the Fantastic Four, and tell me why this movie had me crying on board. When it was done, I started scrolling on TikTok, and I didn't even realize how good the damn Wi-Fi was on this flight. I could watch someone's live seamlessly, and I could even watch YouTube videos, which